kids, this week on the main headlines, we have the Russia-Ukraine war that hit 1 year, the Qantas Airlines that just gained a lot of money in half a year after losing a lot during the COVID-19 pandemic, and Temu, which is an online app that just became the most downloaded in USA. Also, we have the brain teasers in the culture segment, which are going to be really fun. And in the secondary headlines, we are talking about the Nigerian elections that were marred by violence, as well as the crash in Nevada that killed 5 people, and discoveries that are happening all around the world that will leave you mind blown. This week we are interviewing Ms. Swani Fakir, who's an incredible person in Mauritius who went from the construction sector to an agriculture sector, which is an interesting journey. I hope you enjoy, and please like, subscribe and share to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Reports suggest that China is going to be sending and providing Russia with drones and ammunitions to help them. The US is especially scared about this because of the growing support that China has for Russia, which until now has been seen as non-lethal only. And now US and all the ministries are trying to spread that information to stop it from happening. It has now been a year since the war began, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. Qantas, the Australian airline, made a big comeback after losing a lot of money during the COVID-19 pandemic. They announced that they made $1.4 billion during half the year, and this helps them as they lost about 7 billion Australian dollars during the COVID-19 pandemic. The CEO attributed the rebound to a higher demand for flights, as well as cost cutting and higher fares. Even though Qantas has been criticized for losing baggage and cancelling flights, it still remains the safest airline in the world, which has also helped them. The CEO is sure that the prices are going to go down, as right now the prices of air tickets are much higher than that of 2019 before the COVID-19 pandemic. Temu, an online platform that is owned by the giant Chinese company Pinduoduo, has taken the world by storm, and it's become the most downloaded app in USA, surpassing Walmart and Amazon. It's an online shopping platform, and it includes a whole range of affordable products such as home goods, electronics, and apparels. During its Super Bowl commercial, it encouraged people to shop like billionaires by splurging on lots of cheap items. And now Temu has been downloaded 24 million times since its launch in September. And its main competitors are AliExpress and Wish, as it has prices that are similar to that of Shein. Hi everybody, this week for the culture segment, I'm going to be telling you some brain teasers I hope you enjoy. I am always hungry. I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I? Fire. The more you take, the more you leave behind. What am I? Footsteps. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? Silence. What is always coming but never arrives? Tomorrow. The person who makes it doesn't need it. The person who buys it has also no use for it. And the person who uses it cannot feel it nor touch it or see it. What am I? A coffin. I really hope you enjoyed these brain teasers, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and come back next week. Hello everyone, this week for the Pre-Actual Career segment we are interviewing Ms. Swani Fakir, who was in the building sector and now she's in agriculture, which is really interesting. I really hope you enjoy.
So my name is Swani. I was in the construction industry since I can say 2007. and then I continued to work till 2015, and I was always on construction sites. I loved my job, which was quantity surveying. It was very interesting and all, but it at some moment it became quite depressing to find yourself spending your time seeing concrete everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm a person who, when I was a kid, most of my time would be spent among nature and at the rivers, at the mountains, and all. And being finding myself for so much of my time on construction site, not only seeing concrete, but before starting a construction, like cutting down all the trees and all that became very depressing. And then one day I sat and thought that, am I happy with what I'm doing? I was happy I had a good salary and all, but that inner happiness, when you really get satisfaction at not only satisfaction of getting a salary at the end of the month, but what you are doing here. So that's when that thought came very quickly, and I took a very quick decision that I wanted to get back to nature, and I needed a job also to sustain my life. So why not being an entrepreneur, but keeping myself in touch with nature? And then I started, I thought of getting into vegetables cultivation.
Wow.
And at first, as I didn't know so much about all these, I took some courses and all.
Wow.
I got, yes, and I took a course on hydroponics in greenhouses. I'm sorry, my dogs are here on the phone.
No problem.
Yes. So I took the course, and at the beginning I started the hydroponics, and then I found that even in hydroponics, there's lots of use of chemicals, like chemical fertilizers and lots of pesticides and all. And I was very uneasy with all this, and then I learned in all the vegetables we eat every day, it was something bad, but I learned something that I came to understand, that how much chemical products we are ingesting every day without knowing it. Because before, when I was just buying vegetables, I couldn't imagine that there's so much of chemical products in it. And then I stopped quite quickly with all this, which definitely I occurred big loss and all, but I had it in my mind that I would not be using chemical products again. So I started doing my cultivation organically. So using all the local products and using nature as an example, growing with the season and everything. So I build like a small ecosystem where I do not force plants which do not want to grow in my area just to be able to sell it. I go with what is adapted on this area and as per seasons and all. And then I built a small network of people, my clients, who I not only sell my vegetables to them, but I also use this network to talk to them, to make them understand the importance of nature and how we can help to preserve it, because food is something that we use every day. Maybe during lockdown, you had seen that people had money, but so many people could not move or do anything to get their food. So
Yeah.
it's something really important. It's some people who had some food in their garden that they were okay. Otherwise, other people were really helpless. And so that's a bit how it all started, and then
Wow.
what I do a bit. And I'm also an ecological activist, so I'm always trying to do whatever I can to protect the nature.
Wow, that's
That's
amazing.
nice.
That's a great
Thank
journey,
you.
and it's amazing how you transitioned.
Yeah,
And what you're doing
exactly.
now. Yeah.
Wow. So can you tell me exactly what you do right now? So as a day-to-day job, what would it consist of?
So on my day-to-day job, it varies a lot because it depends on the weather.
Mhm.
So it starts in the morning by checking on the plants and checking if there are slugs and all, and removing by hand, and doing some trellising and pruning the plants and all,
Yeah.
and then like weeding all by hand, and then when the sun starts to be a bit strong, then get back.
Yeah.
And then I would start a bit of administrative work that contact with my clients. And because in the morning I would check what will be available to deliver the next day. I do my deliveries twice a week. I'm sorry, I just think that I check on the dogs.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, then I'll communicate with my clients of all the availabilities, and already explain to them that even one day later, we don't know that whatever the list that I have sent, if it will be available or not. Because even within one day, we can't be sure what may happen.
Yes.
And then start planning everything. The next day, harvesting and preparing the vegetable baskets. I do my deliveries myself because that gives me a chance to speak to the clients, to explain everything, and to make them discover any new vegetables that I add, because I also like to make people discover things that we have forgotten. Like with a trend, we see some only some kind of vegetables and fruits on videos, and we just consume that. But there's actually a bigger variety that we don't know about. So I'm always trying to get something new on my list, or it may be even something that I didn't grow, as I love foraging and doing research on edible things which grows like this. And I always bring some with me to make my clients discover. And then the day is over, I come back, I prepare. I do all my administrative work. I send my invoices and things like that. And the next day, the day starts all over again like this. We always have to start something. Since it's not a monoculture, it's not you put seedlings and then wait it to grow. We plant a lot of things at the same time, so it's always the same work. You always have each 2-3 times a week. You always have to put something new so that it can take its time to grow.
Wow, that's amazing. It's really nice.
Thank
I mean,
you.
it's a big change from the construction industry, but it's really interesting.
Sorry.
Um, I was just saying that it's a very big transition from the construction industry, but what you're doing right now, it's very fascinating.
Thank you. Yes, it's something very different. Yes.
Yeah. And could you tell us a bit about your transition, how it really went? Like, you told us a bit about how you decided about your inner happiness, but how did you really transition? How long did it take? Could you tell us some more about that?
The decision was very quick,
Mm-hmm.
and I had put it in my mind that I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then, but still, there were many difficulties because I didn't have agricultural land.
Mhm.
I didn't know much about. I know gardening, but I was limited to that.
Yeah.
And doing it as a business, it was something that I didn't know how to do. And in the meantime, I quit my job. I started to see where I could get land facilities. I checked with all the institutions, like where I could get some courses and like how to start this business. And I also made some greenhouses
Okay.
because which I needed for the hydroponics.
Wow.
Because we had something here in Mauritius where we got some facilities. If you're going into hydroponic cultures, like you can get some loans and all. So that was how I started, because I thought that was going to be hydroponics was going to be okay. But then I took my loan, I built my greenhouses, I started the hydroponics, and I was easy with it. So whatever the how to say the theories that I learned about doing this business, it all went completely different. It was nothing like planned.
Wow.
And then after some time, I started to dig into it myself to see where the problem was
Mhm.
and why other people they couldn't really make a living only by doing this job. And all the farmers that I know, they have a really difficult time because what they do, farmers, only farming, so they just grow their vegetables, that too inorganically, the conventional way. And people who grow vegetables, they only grow vegetables. They don't know how to look for clients or how to make a network and like how to make value added products with
Yeah.
whatever they produce. And there are lots of middlemen, which makes it that when you see the price of vegetables at the market, it's really expensive. You think that a farmer is getting much money, but it's that's not true. It's in fact the middlemen and the resellers who makes a lot of money. They just come and take it from the farmers at a very low price. And then farmers just continue to struggle all the time. So I do everything myself. I have no, I don't give to resellers. I make my own network of direct clients. I do my own delivery. And also when I have products in excess, I have friends who who transform the products so that we can preserve it for longer period of time, or when this kind of produce is not available.
Wow.
And then we can continue to sell it later, and it's like that. Nothing's wasted, actually.
Wow, that's amazing. What a great initiative. And it's really nice to hear how you transitioned.
And you seem to be very happy now, so it was a very good decision.
And
Yes.
Yeah. Please continue.
Yes, it was, how to say, I can't say that this was a very practical decision, because it came with lots of problems and lots of
Yeah.
difficulties. That's sure. Because doing organic is very difficult in Mauritius, because you have to talk to people so that to convince them why they should choose organic over food that is filled with pesticides or poisons and all. And even growing things organically is not so easy. When you plant
Mhm.
something, you can expect to lose 50 to 70% and
Oh, wow.
harvest only 30%, or you can lose everything.
Oh.
It's just things that you have to expect. But even though the pleasure that I get by being close to nature, I'm not going to change my mind to go back into the construction for it.
Wow.
Well,
That's
that's
nice.
great.
And I can, because in the end, people work to feed themselves and all. What can happen?
Mhm.
At least I know that whatever happens, I will not be lacking food.
Yeah, of
I
course.
have food to eat. So
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
that's what matters. Yes.
Wow.
And finally, what is your advice to kids?
My advice to kids is that we have a lot to do regarding the environment, because when I myself was a kid, the way I saw I saw how everything changed,
Mhm.
how much greeneries there was, and now how it's being filled with concrete everywhere, and
Mhm.
we are facing lots of natural problems. Like some days earlier, we had flood everywhere because
Yeah.
we had
Mhm.
very heavy rainfall, and we could see that the drains are not enough to like to drain all the water that we got.
Yeah.
Concrete is not made to absorb the water, and when we had trees, the rainfall would not come directly
Mhm.
to the earth. It would take some time, and in the meantime, it had the time to get absorbed in the land. Now it's coming directly on the land, and it's washing away everything.
Mhm.
And the volume of water is just the little amount of land that's left. It's just not enough to absorb it. So
Yeah.
we had water going in people's house, and it was very distressing to see how many
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
had losses and all.
Mhm.
So it's really very important. Like when you are choosing a career, maybe think about the impact. It's okay to have a career. It's okay to think for yourself that you have to make money, that you have to be in, to have to make a place in the society.
Mhm.
But then what? If you are
Mhm.
doing, what kind of impact is it making on the environment? Is it negative? Is it positive? What kind of impact is it making on people's health, on the nature's health? And you, even if you are into something, tomorrow when you will not be there, whatever you were implicated into is continuing. What will be the
Mhm.
impact on future generations?
Mhm.
How, what change can that do to the world? And when thinking of a career, maybe think of something where even when you're selling a product, whatever it is, you don't have any, how to say, from your heart, you know that you did a noble thing, you
Mhm.
are happy that you delivered something which is how to say uh, I don't I can't get the word, but
No problem.
you're doing something healthy, like whatever. It's not having
Mhm.
any negative impact or very little negative impact.
Yeah,
It's like that.
that's true.
And working with nature is the best that you can do, because it also has many benefits. Keeps you grounded. You learn a lot of things. Disconnecting from the chaotic world where people are just getting mad for material things and all. Staying
Mhm.
away
Mhm.
from this world, it's
Wow.
it's just
Wow.
great. Yes.
No, your story is really really inspiring.
Yeah,
And
very unique, very new. Thank you so much. Mhm. Have a
Thank you
wonderful
very
day,
much.
and
thank you
thank
so
you so
much
much
for
for,
sharing
yeah,
your
for your
story.
time and for sharing. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Anytime, any questions, please feel free to come back.
We'll
Thank you so much.
definitely get back to you, love.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Tragedy struck in Nevada when a plane crashed, killing all 5 people on board. This was a medical plane, and the pilot, a nurse, a paramedic, a patient, and a family member all died. The community and their family members are now mourning their deaths, and the cause of this crash is also being investigated. It happened near a place called Stagecoach. For Nigeria's most crucial presidential election, millions of Nigerians came to vote on Saturday, but unfortunately, the election was marred by violence, and there was a lot of violence that was happening all around. And even eyewitnesses said that 2 polling stations were completely full of violence that was uninterfered by the police. Also, it seemed like it lasted a really long time as it was expected to end at 2:30 p.m., but some people were still waiting to cast their vote at midnight. Recently, there have been new discoveries and incredible things that will amaze you around the world, such as a newly discovered layer in the Earth's core, archaeologists who have found new evidence of the use of bow and arrows by early humans in America and Africa, as well as lots and lots of artifacts found in Amsterdam during a metro construction, and in South Africa, artificial nests for endangered penguins. There's so many things that are happening around the world, and hopefully there will be more happening this year and in the future.